Hello, I'm Mike Hines. I am Scandia's fire chief, and we are here tonight at our fire prevention open house, where we try to spread the word about fire prevention and keeping everyone in our community safe and happy. We'll have some demonstrations tonight, and this year's event topic is replacing your smoke alarm every 10 years. Our fire department consists of 29 volunteer members. Everyone on our department is volunteer. We were established in 1952. We have our new facility here that was built in 2001. We pride ourselves on taking good care and being well trained in all aspects of fire and EMS. Okay, as far as our department has grown, we've grown into a larger building. Our community has gotten bigger, so we've had a little more demand put on us. And we've also done a transition where we do fire and medical calls. So that makes us unique, and we do a lot of rescue calls in our community. And we also are unique in the fact that we have some drugs and interventions that we can do that a lot of non-transporting agencies are not allowed to do. A volunteer fire department means that, we're all here voluntarily. It's a second job to our main job commitment. We do get paid on call, but it's very minimal to the amount of time that we have to put in. And when you become a new firefighter, we require everyone to be trained as EMT and as a firefighter too, which is quite a commitment on the initial portion. But being a volunteer, people want to do this because they want to give back to their community and help others. Everyone wears bunker gear, it's called, which is a thermal protection coat, pants, and it also has a moisture barrier so that the steam doesn't come through to us. And then we wear boots that are specially designed with a metal bottom so we don't get nails through our feet. And if we're going into a house, we have to wear a hood, helmet, and gloves so there is no skin exposed, since in a fire, skin will burn in seconds.
This is our 3-lead heart monitor. We use this to see if a patient is experiencing any sort of cardiac issues. And Peter's going to demonstrate how we place this on the patient. So red is to ribs. Okay. White is to right. Do it right here.
Yep.
And then the black will go on the other side. So on the left.
Let's go down here.
Okay. And if I sit really still, we'll see that I'm getting my pulse, which is 89 right now. And we're getting a picture of what's going on. And what we can do is it's right here that we can print off a little strip, and we print this off for the paramedics when they arrive, so that they can get an idea of what's going on with my heart. So we have another feature, and we actually, if we know that there's something wrong, we have a defibrillator we can use, and this actually shocks the patient. When we take this out of the package, we put one on the upper right and one right on the side, and that will allow us to monitor their heart rhythm, and this defibrillator will let us know if we need to shock or not. And but right now I'm safe. I won't get shocked. They could press the button and I'm good. This is simply to see if what's going on with my heart. But if we really needed to, we could use these, and this would allow us to shock someone's heart back into rhythm. We wouldn't actually use this if their heart was completely stopped. All right, this is the Lucas device, the Lucas 2. We actually acquired this not too long ago. Peter, if you'd want to help me with the demonstration. This is what we use for CPR. This device is specifically used for the cases where patients' heart is no longer beating. And we usually start with traditional CPR so that we get enough time to to get this ready to place on the patient with very little interruption. This particular device has 2 features. We're able to deliver compressions in 30 compressions and then a stop, and that'll allow us to give breaths, and then it will resume. So it's a time device. So it helps us improve our efficiency in CPR. And it also helps us, because CPR it will fatigue a first responder. It'll fatigue an EMT very quickly. So this allows so that we can help in other areas while not tiring ourselves out. And it's actually better for the patient because this is consistent. And whereas we fatigue and we may not be compressing with 100% efficiency, this will work for as long as this has a charge. And we can stop it at any time to do an analysis. So we can stop this and we can get a heart check, we can see if we need to defibrillate, and we can keep it on at all times. And they've actually had these on in the hospital where patients have gone to a cath lab and they've actually been operated on and they survive. And these operations were not possible before this device was implemented. So this is a big innovation, and this is great for the department and for the community. So the American Heart Association is kind of moving to so you have the layman's CPR where you're going to provide compressions. It's going to look very similar to what we used to do, and we still do that. And that's sufficient for before we arrive. You'll just do the traditional CPR, hands on the chest and pumping 30 compressions to 2 breaths. And that is what you would do before the firefighters or the paramedics arrive.
We have a person in the car to simulate if someone got someone in the car and they were in an accident. So our crews are going to come out. Our captain is going to go around, look at the car, see what he has, try to determine what he has to do to get that person out and to make that car safe. The crew is going to be getting our jaws of life together. They got to have a hose because a car has batteries, gasoline, and usually when they're in a crash, something's leaking on the ground. So we always have a hose ready in case it catches on fire. So the first thing they're going to do is come out. We call it cribbing, which is they're going to put blocks underneath the car. So as they're cutting it up, the car won't shake around and move. Because our goal is to keep that person inside as stable and not move them as much as we can. So they're pulling out all the gear, getting ready to take this person out. That could be anything from the person could have a minor cut to a broken back, broken leg. They could be stuck under the steering wheel, or the pedals on the floor could be trapping their feet. So now that they have it cribbed, they're going to try to find a spot that one of the guys can get inside and talk to the patient and cover them up so as they break windows and cut glass, that person won't get covered in glass. So they go in and cover them up and talk them through it, because for a lot of people, this will be the first time that they've ever been in a car while it's being cut apart. So we try to talk them through it to make them a little more comfortable. So you can see he's in there covering them up. So as they start cutting metal and breaking glass, hopefully the patient won't get any glass in their face or anywhere that might hurt them worse than they are. So right now he's opening the hood to try to cut the battery cables, which will help reduce our fire risk, and it also helps reduce the risk of an airbag going off on us. So he's in cutting the battery cable, and then they're using a nice little tool that breaks out all the side window and back windows. No, you don't want to break your mom's windows. So they take out all the glass because the plan is to open that door up and take the roof off. And if that glass is in the way and we start prying, we can't control where it goes. And here comes the jaws of life. That's what they use. That's what they use to tear the car apart and cut the car up. So right now he's squeezing the door, and that makes a spot in the hinge that he can put that tool in to pop it out. And now the windshield is different than the rest of the glass on the car. It's laminated glass, so we can't just pop it and have it all break up on us. So we actually have a little, like scissors, that cuts the glass out in one big chunk, since it doesn't break like the rest of the glass. So now that he's bent up the door, he can go into the little space he made, and the spreader will spread the door right off the locks. And now he's going to the hinges. And to get enough room for our guys to get in, we break the hinges. Then the whole side of the car is open for us. So he's popping the hinge on the bottom of the door first. And once he breaks that one, then he'll go to the top, and he does it that way. He does it that way, so when he does the last one, as he's breaking it, it puts a lot of pressure on it. And if he's doing the top one, it shoots it off into the ground. If he did the top one, the bottom one, the door could go flying across the area. All right, so they got the door out of their way now. Huh? Yep, they're going to break more of the car. So right now they're going to cut so that they can take the roof off. They're going to take at least part of it off. And then they're going to cut the floorboard on the car and put the spreader in there, and that actually can roll. In a lot of crashes, when they get hit, the dash rolls down and squeezes the person. So they put the spreader in there, and they'll actually be able to spread the dash to give more room. So right now he's making the cut so that he can roll the car up to open it up to get the person out easier. So now he's putting the spreader in, and he's going to push the dash and the steering wheel up and out of the way, so that they can get the person out easier. So that hydraulic spreader could pick the whole car up if it wanted to. It puts out that much force. All right, so now they're bringing out another tool. It's called a ram. They're going to put it in that doorway because this car's in really good shape. The spreader isn't big enough to do it, so they're going to use their ram to push that dash up out of the way. So and the whole time that they're working on that, one guy's inside, the other guy on the outside. They're putting a C-collar on the patient, taking some vitals, putting a tourniquet on if there's a big bleed. doing some of the medical stuff while they wait for it to open up that they can get the person out. So you can see he's making the dash, pushing that whole post up and out of the way. That's far enough. All right, so now that they made enough room, they're going to get a backboard and slide that person out onto the backboard, strap them down, and then put them in the ambulance or the helicopter. Depending on how bad a person is, due to the fact that we're quite a ways away from a trauma center, sometimes on a car accident, we'll have a helicopter come out. As they call the first hour the golden hour, and if it takes us a little while to get them out, we'll fly them into the hospital to get them there in that golden hour when they have the best outcome possible. So now they're trying to slide the patient out without moving or bending their back, trying to keep them as straight as they can. So now they have them out of the car, onto the backboard, strap them down and send them away. Send them to the hospital where hopefully they'll get taken care of and get back to a normal life. So that's what we have to do when someone's in a car accident. Support your fire department. We're all volunteers. We do a lot of work to try to keep our community safe. And one of the top things I can say is for the residents to mark their address on their mailbox or at the end of their driveway so that we can find you when you need us.